How many of you have felt discouraged over the last 3.5 weeks? Are you feeling discouraged because your progress is moving slower than you expected it to be? Have you hovered at the same weight for multiple days or even weeks and you don't understand why the scale isn't moving up or down? The feeling of discouragement is a familiar one in this journey to living a healthier lifestyle. And this week, I want us to focus on overcoming this. In John 16:33, it says, I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace, and in the world you will have tribulation. But take heart, I have overcome the world. Once again, in the world you will have tribulation. Tribulation means a cause of great trouble or suffering. And discouragement can be used as a tribulation in this journey. You will have bad weeks, and you will want to quit. And maybe you want to go back to how you were living before you joined this group. And you're going to rationalize these thoughts by telling yourself things that say, I'm fine being unhealthy, or I'm okay with being a little bit chubby. But how true are you actually being to yourself? These are statements that I told myself when I was creeping up on almost 300 pounds only 8 months ago. But the reality is, I was not fine, and I was not okay with being overweight. I had to take these discouragements I had, and I had to face them head on and face reality. A bad week is okay, but do not let discouragement win in the end. In Joshua 1:9, it says, Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened, and do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Wherever you end up on this journey, and wherever God leads your heart, He will be there with you every step of the way. Just like any other situation in your life, when your journey to health isn't going as you planned, remember, the ball is in your court. But God is the referee, and He ultimately determines what happens. But throughout the entire game, He's going to be with you. He's also going to be watching you. And He is also going to be intimidating you to make the right decisions. Wink, wink. Each week, and alongside our devotional, we are going to have a declaration that relates to the week's message. Feel free to write this down, print it out, screenshot it, or however you want to save this. Just remember to put it somewhere where you're going to see it and be reminded of what we talked about in this week's devotional. This week's declaration is, God, thank you for being my source of strength and self-control throughout this journey. I have had bad days, but I will not let that deter me. I will continue through these emotional struggles that I am facing. Things will not always go the way that I have planned for myself, but the way that you have intended. I will take my discouragements as a challenge, and I will overcome them with you by my side, helping me every step of the way. Before you guys go, I wanted to leave you with a testimony, and I thought the best testimony to share would be my own. So, in April of 2019, I moved in with Pastor Janet and Leonard temporarily while I was searching for a place to live. At that time, I attempted to embark on a weight loss journey. I started weighing myself, I signed up for a gym membership, and I attempted to eat healthier, and I lost a little bit of weight, and I tried, or I say I tried, but I didn't actually apply myself, and in the end, I was exactly back where I started, and then I moved out. And the reason I ended up back where I started is because I never addressed the core issue of my weight loss and my lifestyle. My relationship with food. I didn't understand what a healthy serving looked like, and on some days I was definitely eating well over 3,000 calories. I would have Dunkin' Donuts for breakfast, and then I'd go to Panera Bread for lunch, and I'd grab some Burger King on the way home for my dinner. And junk food had such an adverse reaction on my life that my diet was just out of control. It wasn't until October 2019 that I finally stepped on a scale and realized I was 289 pounds. I was only 11 pounds away from the 300s. I sulked for a couple of weeks, and then around Thanksgiving I decided it was time to make a change because, the holidays are when people kind of go out of control anyway and gain weight, and I didn't want to get to that 300 mark. So I had to address my relationship with food head on, and I had to make some little changes that has now, in comparison, turned into drastic changes to where I started. So I changed my eating mentality from eating to satisfy my cravings and eating whatever I pleased to eating foods that nourish my body and are beneficial to my overall health. Since Thanksgiving, I have lost 38 pounds and I weigh in roughly at 251 pounds right now, as of June 9th, 2020. And this took dedication, and I prayed daily asking for the strength to continue through this journey because it is hard. And I have fallen off the wagon a couple times and eaten some meals I shouldn't have eaten, just because I know that they have no nutritional benefits to me. But the next day, I stood back up and I continued right along on the journey that I made a promise to myself that I was going to do. So I made a goal to do the best that I could every day, and you take this journey day by day. So my weight loss in total has only equaled about 1.3 pounds a week lost, but I remind myself that any progress is good progress, and even though it isn't happening as fast as I want it to be, it's because I'm making changes that are sustainable and habits that I'm going to be able to continue for the rest of my life. So I hope that this testimony of mine brings a little bit of lightness back into some of your ideologies, and that any progress is good progress. And if you're just making small changes, that you're going to see the benefits in the end. And I recommend, if you're not seeing changes on the scale and you know that you're doing everything that you can to lose weight, I recommend buying a tape measure and taking measurements around your chest, waist, hips, arms, and legs, and just measuring every week too, because a lot of times I saw changes in my physical body that I didn't see on the scale, and I lost a lot of inches over the first couple of weeks, but it didn't look like it, even though I was losing inches. So I recommend doing that as another form of making sure that you're staying on track. Make sure that you are writing down every food you eat, and make sure you're staying within your calorie limits for the day, and you will see progress, whether it's in inches or it's in pounds on the scale. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's devotional. If you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the subscription button and the notification bell to be notified of any future postings. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.